All right, welcome to the Right Now Project. The Right Now Project is a podcast about finding and owning who we are. It's about learning to trust ourselves, finally. It's about learning to trust our guts. It's about uncovering our authenticity and allowing who we are to soar. My name is Guy McPherson. I'm the founder here, and this is my journey too. If you're looking for something easy, this is not it. However, if you're ready to step up, ready to explore who you are, the ups and downs, the scars and scrapes, and realize the incredible value in that, this is your place. Let's get started. All right, folks, welcome back to the Right Now Project. Sitting here with my coffee and my blueberry muffin, and thinking about this episode today, and it's about fear. I was going to talk about this in my last episode, but I ended up getting carried away. Maybe because I didn't want to talk about it. Man. So this is, I don't know, episode 4, 5, or 6 in my series on divorce. How exciting does that sound? So where are we now? We told our kids about 2 weeks ago, and we have a 13-year-old and a 7-year-old, and our 13-year-old didn't say anything. 7-year-old didn't understand, not surprisingly, and she was like, I can't even talk about it right now. That was the hard part for me, and it's been the real hard part. Telling my kids, Jesus fuck, Dad, I'm getting divorced. And if I feel like a statistic, I'm scared for them. I don't. You hear all these stories about divorce in our culture, and when you don't go through it, at least for me, you have an idea. It's vicious, it's acrimonious, people are cheating, people are lying, people are fighting, and there was none of that in our divorce. There was none of that. There was just shock of coming out of the blue. And yes, look, our marriage wasn't perfect. I fully admit that. But this definitely did come out of the blue. There were no red flags that I saw. Hold on, I got to take off my sweater here. I'm getting too hot. Okay, sorry about that. And here we are. So 2 weeks ago, we told our kids, and because we wanted to wait until we had a plan, which I think was a good idea. So we've given them basically a month. My soon-to-be ex-wife moves out in 2 weeks. Yeah, so fear. Am I scared? Yes, I'm scared. Am I scared to admit that? Yes, I'm scared to admit that. I'm scared that people are going to think I'm weak. I'm scared that maybe I'm going to think I'm weak. Maybe I am weak. I'm scared of, everything changes. Everything's changed. My identity has fucking changed. I'm not married anymore. I'm going to be a single father. And all those plans that we had are done. They're gone. And I think really the thing that freaks me out is when you're married, you have a partner. You have someone to go through the day-to-day with. The simple things, texting, the little seemingly inane, stupid things that not stupid, but just, simple things, seemingly trivial things that you just text during the day to your partner. Gone, done. And there's an absence there. And that hurts. And part of me feels that, I have this idea of the future just unfurling in front of me, and I'm alone. This kind of existential fear that is real. And I think that, the other side to this is that I have been getting my act together, getting my shit together. I'm getting up. I have this voice going on that's a guy, get your shit together, get up, go work out, and face this, deal with this, use this. It's not enough just to react, because I'm definitely in the reactive position. This person, boom, getting a divorce, right? They're laying it out in front of you, and the ball's in your court in a sense. And I need to respond. I have to respond. No response is a response. And I just automatically refuse to sit down. And I've said this before in this series. I've refused to sit down in the corner and just fucking weep, with a blanket over my head. And I need to get up and do this. And how am I going to do this? That's where I'm at. What am I going to do? How am I going to do this? Okay, I've got, my workouts in the morning going well. My eating's okay. My sleep is not that great. Just everything's spinning around in my head, and thinking to myself, what is this going to be like when I'm alone here and my kids are not here? And that's a really fucked up thing in all this, is that, someone makes a choice to divorce, and then boom, you will not see your kids. You will only see your kids for half the time now. Full stop. Done. And that's painful for me. That's painful for me. And how am I going to make this good? How am I going to thrive? How are my kids going to thrive in this? I've got to move. I've got to get a part of this podcast is figure it out. I mean, it's a weird way to do it, I know, but it's kind of like the only way I know I can do it. Only way I know what to do is I need to express it in this way. Is someone getting anything out of this? I don't know. Seriously, I don't know. Do I hope so? Yeah, I guess. That would be nice. But, we need to move forward. And people have been awesome reaching out on social, Guy, I'm with you, And from my experience, I have to be ready in that particular stage to hear their particular advice or thoughts or sharings. It doesn't help me sometimes to know that you will get through this. Well, fuck. Okay, that's great. But right now I'm in it and it sucks. And I don't know how I'm going to get through it. And the part about fear of being alone, fear of having a completely different life now, fear that I'm suddenly a different person with a different identity in a sense. No, my core is not different. Of course it's not, but my identity is different, right? It's yes, it is. And we move through that. What's been really helping me is just motivational videos in the morning when I'm working out. And I'm just, trying to stay positive, trying to stay on task, and yes, I have that loop going on in my head that I've got to battle, day to day, I've got to battle. And meanwhile, my soon-to-be ex-wife is still here in this house, and we're kind of, doing that kind of awkward dance of interacting and not interacting, which in and of itself is odd and weird and strained, and in itself painful. I think that I would tell someone, to be easy with themselves, to go easy with themselves, to try to be in the moment. Try to be in the moment. For me, this thing has moved in stages. And I think, in the beginning, I was like, what the fuck? Are you serious? And that went on for like a good 2 weeks, really. And then with anger underneath that, a nice thread dose of anger moving along with that, and a willingness not to let anger infect me, infiltrate me. Is it there? Yeah, it's there. But I don't want to walk around being angry or toxic. And it got weird. It got just felt like toxic in the beginning when we were, moving through these initial stages. Yes, it did. And then, I went away and I saw some relatives, and that helped me work things out. And, people looking in from the outside, right? They have an idea of what this should look like, or how it looks like, and how you should be acting, and why aren't you acting this way, and shouldn't you be more this or more that, and this is the way I'm moving through this, moving through this in my own way, in my own process, and trying to be open to the feelings that come, and emotions that come. Fear's one of those that's right here. And and sadness, of course, is another big one that's there. Some people have said, "Oh, it's the best thing that happened to me. It's liberating." Blah blah blah. Well, I'm not there yet. And I think I've talked about this in other episodes. Has there been a surge of creativity? Yes. Has there been a kind of an excitement about where my life is going to go? Yes. But, that's on the left side here. That's compartmentalized right now. And these different phases or stages, I think I have to be open to. There's a tendency for me to hold sadness at bay. Certainly when I was talking about the kids, I didn't even want to talk about the kids. I didn't even want to think about having to tell the kids. I dreaded that. I did research on, what do you tell kids? It's not like we've got two 12-year-olds, right? We tell them basically one story. We have a 7-year-old and a 13-year-old, and they needed two talks. And I did research, and I swear to God, I rehearsed that to the one that I was going to tell my 13-year-old. I rehearsed it because I didn't want to break down, and God, and I think to myself, well, what's so bad about breaking down? It's real. I just wanted to be strong for my son. I wanted to let him know that things were going to be okay. I think there's a time to break down, right? I think there is. Just because you're sad doesn't mean you have to express it in that moment. And for me, I can do that kind of behind closed doors in a sense. I don't have to do that in front of him right now in that moment. But, in continuing this discussion about fear, it's present. It's here. And I'm acknowledging it. and I'm dealing with it, and I'm trying to, negotiate with it, navigate it, and dance with it in a sense, move with it, move through it, feel it and move through it. I don't want it to stop me from moving on. I don't want it to stop me from taking action. I don't want it to just paralyze me. And sometimes it's very easy. I don't have a huge support system here. Like, we moved here about 2.5 years ago, right? And I do have a support system, but they're kind of remote. Everybody's remote, which is okay. But I think it's so important to lean on them, right? And which I have been doing. Fear's a big one for me here, because it feels like the end edge of a diving board over the Grand Canyon, or over an abyss, really. And yes, you can say there's part of that's exciting and adventure and all that stuff, but I'm not there yet. I'm like in the abyss part. I'm just like, man, I'm in it. I'm fucking in it. And we go through these things. And again, trauma, it's traumatizing, and I remember I was interviewing Janina Fisher, who's a prominent psychotherapist on my podcast, trauma specialist. And we were talking about the pandemic, and she said, well, this is not trauma. This is not PTSD, because we're still in it, right? It's not post-traumatic stress disorder. There's nothing post at this point. I'm in it. I'm living in this right now, day to day. And in a way, this is how I'm working through it. It's kind of odd. It's strange. I know that. But I do believe that, of course, I'm going to get fucking through this. Of course I am. But I kind of feel like I'm dodging bullets, and I mentioned the surge in creativity I've had, which is crazy. I don't know where that came from. And there was shame that I had. Shame I still do. Like, oh my God, I'm like kind of ashamed that I'm feeling creative, or ashamed that I'm looking forward to my new life. And does that mean that, I'm looking down on the 15 years I spent with my ex-wife? No, I there's a lot of value in that, and I honor that. And there were a lot of amazing times too, but here I am, and I'm willing to move forward with open arms and an open heart, and to acknowledge the adventure that's ahead of me, while dodging the bullets of fear and pain and very real sadness. Oh man. All right, you guys. Look, if you're listening, I don't know who the hell is listening to this, but if you are, I really appreciate it. And reach out to me. Let me know how things are going for you. Take care. Bye-bye.